New York City school's parent now suing the Department of Education. He says his son's courageous decision to come out as gay in the 6th grade was met with no protection from leaders, which paved the way for some terrible bullying. Thanks for staying with us. I'm Corey Chambers.
Yeah, Tamsin Fidela's lawsuit claims a Long Island City middle school swept years of bullying and harassment under the rug, leaving his son traumatized. Pixel's Kalarama is pressing the Department of Education for answers.
My son came out of the closet to his teachers and classmates shortly after the beginning of 6th grade at IS 126.
And after that, Jason Cianciato says his son endured 2 years of harassment and bullying from his peers at Albert Shanker School for Visual and Performing Arts in Long Island City for being gay and being adopted by 2 gay dads.
My son survived far more trauma than any person should face in the lifetime during the 4 years that he was in the foster system. He's also a brain cancer survivor.
The last straw for the Cianciato family before pulling their son out of New York City schools was a student allegedly passing him a note reading, "Jesus didn't like him and he was going to hell." Cianciato says his peers not only isolated him, but anyone who befriended his son.
He passed a note back that said, "I love Jesus." And that he wasn't gay, he was just pretending.
Their responsibility is to keep kids at school safe. Period. End of story.
Civil rights attorney David Leibowitz filed this lawsuit against the New York City Department of Education, alleging the school swept the bullying under the rug, telling this family homosexuality shouldn't be discussed in middle school.
It's not an acceptable response to this type of bullying to just write it off as immature behavior by kids, because for the students on the receiving end of it, it can literally be a matter of life and death.
The Department of Education called these allegations troubling, telling Pix 11 there is a zero-tolerance policy for bullying and harassment of any kind. The DOE says over the past 2 years, it has overhauled its bullying and harassment reporting and follow-up to make sure children feel safe. Right now, they're reviewing the complaint and investigating these claims. LGBTQ youth are 3 times more likely to attempt suicide than their peers, according to the Suicide Prevention Resource Center. Cianciato and his attorney say the goal of this lawsuit is justice, accountability, and a lesson to take kids' mental health more seriously. Kalarama, Pix 11 News.
Well, U.S. citizens will soon be able to choose a third gender option when applying for a passport. State Department officials say the policy change is part of an effort to ensure the fair treatment of LGBTQ Americans regardless of gender or sex. Passport applicants will also be able to self-select their gender without providing supporting medical documentation if their gender marker does not match the one on their other identity documents. It's currently unclear when the third gender option will be made available.
Speaker Nancy